Welcome again to this A-level GCE Edexcel Religious Studies Paper 4 video. What we're asking, did the Buddha achieve? What was the nature of enlightenment? What happened on the fourth watch of the night? Traditionally, we jump now straight to 6 a.m., the moment of awakening, of enlightenment. Now, it's pictured as the dawning of the day. It's the symbolism of the dawn, the dawning of awakening, the dawning of knowledge. Has huge religious resonance, doesn't it? Now, Kush says this final jhana means that even the bliss, the joy of previous jhanas fades away. It leaves the mind completely at peace, tranquil, clear, sharp, having an ability to pierce into reality. Now, the language here is muted. Buddhists would say this is a transcendent insight, a supernatural insight. And you can't just secularize this. You have to realize this is more than just a clever person. He's having a religious experience. And he gains this super knowledge, having had the mind prepared through the previous jhanas. So what did he achieve? Well, consider some of the quotes. You'll read about this from the Buddha, from the Pali Canon. He says in one place, "I've beaten the drum of existence. This is my last life. There shall be no re-becoming for me." So he realizes that he's achieved what he set out to achieve, that he's not going to be reborn into another life. Now that's interesting. Theravada Buddhists would agree, and would say he just goes off into the afterlife. Mahayana Buddhists, however, it's interesting. They want to rephrase this to say he chooses to remain in the heavenly realms to become a helper, compassionate with pity to help the rest of us who can't get enlightened. Maybe. Dhammapada 353, these are a series of sayings by the Buddha, says, "I've conquered all. I know all and my life is pure. I have left all. I am free from craving." He's got rid of the fetters, the cankers, the character flaws as such. "I have myself found the way. Who shall I call teacher? Whom shall I teach?" And he realizes that he has a responsibility to teach what he has found. Dhammapada also says in the next verse, "Seeking but now finding the house builder." This is quite a famous passage. "I've travelled the rounds of countless births. Oh, painful is birth forever and ever." House builder, you are now being seen. You shall not build the house again. Your rafters have been broken down. The ridgepole has been demolished too. My mind has now attained uniform nibbana and reached the end of every craving. So the house, what is he referring to here? Well, the house of re-becoming, the house of skandhas, the house of that it's just a collection of parts. A ridgepole, the rafters, and so on. All of that will one day be demolished, and he will cease this mortal plane, as it were. So what is enlightenment? If we had to create a wiki account, we'd want to just be careful here. For Theravada Buddhists, they would say they understand the historical Sakyana Buddha to have become aware of his super knowledge of his past lives, all the beings in the universe. That's part of it. You have to have this transcendent supernatural insight. He's told that everything is linked to cause and effect, and everything is constantly changing. You have to have insight into conditioned arising, and to see that, to accept that. He sees suffering comes from craving and attachment, the belief that things or people or ideas can bring us happiness when in fact they themselves are the subject to change, so cannot provide satisfaction. Here we have the tenets of the Four Noble Truths, especially dukkha and the solution to the problem. With this realization, he said to overcome all his craving and attachment, the second noble truth. Tana, in himself, and experienced the peace of nirvana. Okay, the third noble truth. Nirvana is a word often used as an alternative for enlightenment, but the same thing. And he indicates the ending of an individual suffering. Now that's interesting. Mahayana understanding of Buddhist enlightenment perhaps is just a little different. Now you might want to have a look this up before you and pause the video here. But what would Mahayana Buddhists say that's slightly different than Theravada Buddhists about the nature of what you attain when you gain Buddhahood? Well, they refer to Theravada as Hinayana, the lower path. It's a bit of a put down, not very nice. It leads to your own liberation, either as a listener, hearer, or disciple, or as a solitary realizer, a Pratyayana Buddha. The Mahayana path aims at further realization that there's something extra, namely Buddhahood. It's the higher path of what they call non-abiding pratishahita. That's spelled wrong anyway. I've pronounced it wrong. Nirvana, meaning a Buddha is better a Bodhisattva who does not simply dwell in nirvana but engages actively in enlightened activity to liberate other beings for as long as samsara remains. So it's the higher path. Which way is it to enlightenment? Is it an individual thing, or is it a sort of savior thing? Which do you think? Or maybe another. You'll have to make up your own mind. So in summary, the Buddha achieved 4 jhanas, these states of meditation. He gained super knowledge known as the heavenly eye. The highest super knowledge is the knowledge of the destruction of the outflows, gaining a state of perfect wisdom. And then you can be like the Buddha, at peace, having broken through the karmic chain of existence, suffering and achieving nibbana. And all of this symbolically coincide with sunrise, 6 a.m. Listen again.